Okay, so what I'm going to read now is the first chapter of Bucky's book called Tetrascroll. Okay, and let's see how Bucky approaches this. I am completely fascinated. He wrote this as a fairy tale for his daughter. So I'm going to read that. Yes, exactly, Richard. Give me just a second. So I'm going to read that, and I'm going to read only the first tricap. You know what, Richard, can you tell people a little bit about this book? Oh, just a second. Oh, sorry about that. Please go ahead. You can unmute now.
Okay. Well, I think the main thing to say right now is that in trying to talk about the fourfoldness and the importance of four in terms of observer and observed, Bucky wanted to tell the story to his daughter Allegra when she was quite young. So I think it was in the 1930s somewhere. And he wanted to do it through the story of the Goldilocks and the Three Bears. And so he set it up that way. And in effect, what he did was that he talked about the three bear trinity, and then he talked about Goldilocks as the observer. And that's how he began to help her understand how the 3 and 1 equals fourfoldness of that kind of interaction. So just think about it in terms of Bucky trying to tell his daughter about the universe, if you want, through the story of Goldilocks and the Three Bears.
Wonderful. Thank you. Thank you, Richard, for that introduction. Let me go ahead and get started. I'm going to mute everybody, and I'm just going to read you the story. So this is Tetrascroll, Tricap 1. Here is Goldy having a sky party with her 3 friends. Let me see if I can hold this up. You see this diagram? So there are the 3 friends, and there is Goldy on the ground. There are 3 friends, 3 bears up in the sky, and there is Goldy on the ground. And you can see the little tetrahedron back down there, which shows you that. So it's like there are 3 bears in the sky, and there Goldy is standing. So there are these 3 bears in the sky, and then there is Goldy right here at this, on the ground, looking up. Here is Goldy having a sky party with her 3 friends, the polar bear family. Goldy says the sky party is a system because Goldy plus the 3 bears equals 4 entities or star events. And it takes 4 events to produce a system. A system divides all the universe into 6 parts. All the universe outside the system, so this is a system, everything outside this tetrahedron, called the macrocosm, all the universe inside the system, everything inside this, the microcosm, and the 4 elements, 4 star events, A, B, C, D. So this vertices, 4 events, which do the dividing. The tetrahedron's 4 corner star events do not have to occur at the same time. Okay, so this is again brilliant. So thinking of this as events. Goldy found that light traveled 6.5 trillion miles a year, and was fascinated when an astronomer told her that the star in the nose of the Big Bear is a live show taking place 210 light years away and ago, as the American colonists are first thinking about revolting from English rule. The pole star at the mummy bear's nose is a live show taking place 680 light years away and ago, as Dante is writing the Inferno. And the star at Wee Bear's front toe is a live show taking place 43 light years away and ago, as Franklin Delano Roosevelt is being elected to the USA presidency for the first time at the depth of the great 1929 to 39 depression. While she, Goldy, is also a live show taking place no time away and ago. Altogether, Goldy's 4 live shows constitute a scenario of non-simultaneous but omni-interrelated events, which can and do define the 4 corners of a minimum system, the tetrahedron. Okay, this is really, really fascinating to me, because he's like, whenever he's looking at the stars, you're aware that, okay, some of them are further away, some of them are, closer, and you are here, the observer, seeing all of that. And my mind is full of kind of possibilities when I try to map these things into our fourfold vision, fourfold thinking. She now understands Einstein's concept that universe is a scenario and not a single simultaneous structure. Okay, I love the choice of words of Bucky. Scenario. One picture of a caterpillar does not tell you it is going to transform into a butterfly. And it takes many frames of the cinema to inform you that the butterfly can fly. Here is Goldy having a sky party with her 3 friends. The polar bear family. Big Bear gave Mommy the pole star to wear on her nose when she gave birth to the EE bear. So this is the diagram for that. Daddy, Ursa Major, the big bear, is often called the Big Dipper because it drinks so much iced tea. Mommy, Ursa Minor, the little bear, is usually called the Little Dipper because, being right at the cold North Pole, she drinks much hot tea, but in little cups. That way she doesn't have time to get cold, she says. Wee Bear is sometimes called Cassiopeia because he sits in the high chair Cassiopeia used when she was a baby. Goldy says, I have drawn Mommy Bear in reverse. I forgot when I was drawing her that if it is to be printed directly from my drawing, it requires an original mirror image master. But I'm going to leave her that way because it's well to remind everyone at the outset that we can only get from here to there by a series of errors. Errors forwardly to the right, and then a correcting forwardly error to the left, each time reducing the error, but never eliminating it. This is what generates waves. This is what generates experience life. So this is about close to about quarter of what I'm going to read. This is 1, 2, 3, 4 pages. So I'm on the second page. So I'm about 30% done. Goldy says, the sky is a system because Goldy plus 3 bears equals 4 entities or sky events, star events. And it takes 4 events to produce a system. A system divides all universe into 6 parts. All the universe outside the system, the macrocosm, all the universe inside the system, the microcosm, and the 4 star events, A, B, C, D, which do the dividing. 2-star and 3-star event entities have only betweenness, but no insideness. Insideness, outsideness, separation begins only with the completion of the 6 interrelationships lines of the 4 separate entity producing events. The 4-star events A, B, C, D have 6 separate, unique, most economical interrelationships lines AB, AC, AD, BC, BD, and CD. These 6 lines, so these are the edges, 6 edges here. So you can see the 3 edges here, and then 3 edges going up. So 3 edges at the bottom here, and then 3 edges going up to the vertex here. So total of 6. The 6 lines and their 4 interconnected star corners inadvertently produce 4 triangular facets of the minimum polyhedron, which 4 facets completely enclose the system to exclude the macrocosm and include the microcosm. So these 4 facets, which completely enclose the inner part. You can see it. I can see there is a hole here, so you can see the inner. A system consists at minimum of 4 non-simultaneous but co-occurrent, because overlapping yet dissimilarly beginning and enduring star entity events of 6 interrelationship lines and 4 nothingnesses window facets. So Strupi calls these the eyes. So he's calling it the nothingness window facets, plus 12 unique intercovariant vertex angles. So at each of the vertex, there are 3 angles. There are 4 such vertices. So you got 12 such angles. 26 conceptual topological components of a system, to which must be added multiplicative, ultravisible, macrocosmic outsideness, and infravisible microscopic insideness, as well as the inseparably co-occurring inside concavity and outside convexity, and the bipoled axis of rotation of all systems, for a total component inventory of 32 items. 3,000 years ago, Greek geometer named this minimum system the tetrahedron. Tetra is 4 and hedron is side, so 4-sided. A system cannot have less than 4 triangular polygon faces or sides or windows, or less than 3 triangular polygon faces surrounding each of the 4 event corners. So there are each of these event corners, these corners are surrounded by these 3 faces. The triangle is the minimum polygon face. So the triangle is the simplest, is the minimum 2-dimensional shape. If you just have a line, there is no enclosure. In order to create an enclosure, you need a triangle. There is a beautiful demonstration of this triangle. You know, if you have 4 points connecting to each other and all of them are moving, they keep wobbling. But when this triangle is connected, it is stable. It becomes a system in 2 dimensions. Same moment you have 4, you have a tetrahedron, which is a system. You cannot have a polygon of less than 3 edges. You cannot have a location fixed point that is less than 1 fixed point. You cannot have an event tracing line that is less than a line. you cannot have an angle that is less than a minimum angle, and you cannot have a system of less than 32 uniquely differentiable and geometrically describable characteristics. All the characteristics of a system are absolute because each of its components is the minimum limit case in its respective conceptual category for all conceptuality, as the great mathematician Euler discovered and proved, consist of at minimum of points, areas, and lines. Goldy further clarifies and simplifies Euler by saying an area is nothingness. A plurality of areas are framing separate views of nothingness. A point is somethingness. A line is a relationship between two somethingnesses. An enlarged, seemingly single somethingness may prove to consist of plurality of somethingnesses between which the defined interrelationships lines fence off the nothingnesses into plurality of separate views of the same nothingnesses. Bucky is used to writing very long sentences. Points are unresolvable, untunable somethingness occurring in the twilight zone between visible and subvisible. Nothingness is the unresolvable untunableness occurring in the twilight zone between visible and supravisible experience. Okay. I mean, much of these material you have to go through multiple times in order to get what it is saying. So just in the beginning, just let it flow over you. And then please, these are available online. You can just search for Tetrascroll PDF. So you can read through the things that you may have difficulty with. Life minimally described. So now I'm on the third page. So I've got about 1.5 pages to go. Life minimally described is awareness, which is inherently plural. For at minimum, it consists of an individual system which becomes aware and the first minimum otherness of which it is aware. This is a profound point. The otherness being either integrally internal or separately external to the observing system's 14 integral topological componented subsystems. That is 4 vertices, 4 areas, and 6 edges. It's total of 14. Together, the observer and the observed constitute 2 points differentiated against an omni-environment of nothingness with one inherent line of awareness interrelationship running between these 2 points. So these edges of tetrahedron contain a lot of magic. Okay, you can look at the vertices and see what is at the vertices, but then when you start playing with the edges and see what edges of a 4-fold system can do, what relationships exist there, it's really fascinating. Euler's generalized formula, which he named topology, says the number of points plus the number of areas will always equal the number of lines plus the number 2, which Goldy finds to be at minimum 2p plus 1a equal to al, 1a equal to al plus 2, which minimum set of awareness aspects of life adds to 4. The observer, the observed, the line of interrelationship, and the nothingness area against which somethingness is observed. There are no known experimentally demonstrable absolute maximum limits. Only the minimum limit is demonstrably absolute. The minimum limit, experienceable, is always a system, even when it looks only like a point. A point is a system so macro, remote, or so micro small as to appear only as an indivisible something in a specific direction relationship to the observer's integral system's arrangement of, for instance, head, toe, front, and back. That's nifty, says Wee Bear. It's magnificent, says Big Bear. I call it both nifty and magnificent, says Mommy Bear. Goldy has a tetrahedron beside her on the beach. Its four vertices, which may also be called locations, stars, event fixes, or points, are oriented as are Goldy and the three bears, with Mommy and her pole star at A, Daddy at B, Wee Bear at C, and Goldy at D. The tetrahedron's four-cornered star events do not have to occur at the same time. Goldy saw a man way down the beach pounding to drive a post into the sand. She heard each pounding for a moment after it occurred. A moment after she saw it occur. Light travels faster than sound. When she was told about light speed having been measured in vacuum by scientists, she understood that light with which she saw the event, like sound, also had a limit speed. She was told that the sound traveled at around 700 miles an hour, that light traveled 1,000,000 times faster, which, though very fast, is much slower than 700 million miles in no time at all. Multiplying 700 million by the number of hours in a year, Goldy found that the light traveled 6.5 trillion miles in a year, and was fascinated when an astronomer told her that the star in the nose of the Big Bear is a live show taking place 210 light years away and ago. Away and ago, I like that term. As the American colonists are first thinking about revolting from English rule. And the pole star at Mommy Bear's nose is a live show taking place 680 light years away and ago, as Dante is writing the Inferno. And the star at Wee Bear's front toe is a live show taking place 43 light years away and ago, as FDR is being elected to the USA presidency for the first time at the depth of the great 1929 to 39 depression, while she, Goldy, is also a live show taking place no time away and ago. Although Goldy's four live shows constitute a scenario of non-simultaneous but omni-interrelated events which can and do define the four corners of a minimum system, the tetrahedron. Goldy too is a non-simultaneous system. She too is a non-simultaneous and only partially overlapping complex of insideness and outsideness experiences. The interrelated experiences of Goldy and the three bears are a scenario. She now understands Einstein's concept that universe is a scenario, not a single simultaneous structure. One picture of a caterpillar does not tell you it is going to transform into a butterfly. And it takes many frames of the cinema to inform you that the butterfly can fly, and many thousands of frames to permit a possible replicative engineering discovery of how it can fly because of any one single frame or picture in a scenario film strip cannot disclose what the story is all about. Goldy says to the bears, when people look at you stars and say, I wonder what is outside of the stars, they are asking for a timeless, simultaneous, static system concept where none exists. Their question is as ignorant as would be asking which word is the dictionary. You're right, Goldy, says the daddy bear. Minds think exploratorially, sort and compose. Minds think exploratorially, sort and compose one thought, which is one metaphysically conceptual system, which at minimum is one tetrahedron. One thought, which is one metaphysically conceptual system, which at minimum is one tetrahedron, can interrelate any four event points or subsystems in non-simultaneous universe. Because of inherent non-simultaneity, all thinking is tetratrooning. The system thought tetrahedron can and always does include four identities: the thinking individual, the present otherness, the past otherness, and future otherness. To which thought of Daddy Bear, Mommy adds, and the ignorant question asking of the brain occurs because brains do not think. They only play back yesterday's recording. Brains pre-tuned like bells and sound off when struck. The end of Tricap 1 of, I think, 21. Okay, so I would love to hear what you guys think. So go ahead and type an exclamation mark if you would like to make any comments, and then we will wrap up soon after you folks have chance to comment. So any thoughts at this point about the story, about this four-fold vision, tetrahedron, anything that you want to say, go ahead and type an exclamation mark or raise your hand in Zoom. Richard, would you like to add anything to the story?
No, not really, other than that it took me several reads to fully appreciate what that particular stone is all about. What I really liked in the conclusion of the reading is to bring us back to the awareness of the thinking individual in relation to past, present, and future otherness. It gives you another perspective on the vastness of fourfoldness and the importance of self and otherness together, and back to the reference to without self cannot exist without awareness, and awareness cannot exist without otherness, and the reverse process is no otherness, no awareness, no self. And it just reinforced that. But the exciting part is the future, past, present, and future otherness as three trinities connected to the observer. I got to think about that more and more. That's a new awareness for me.
Wonderful. Thank you, Richard. All right, folks, if nobody has any comments, thank you very much for being here. I plan to build on this. This is all in preparation for our Bucky series. We're just getting started.